Warning. The following video contains strong language which may be offensive to some viewers and or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Yes, I'm honoring Mr. Edward Van Halen. I know as this podcast is release date is will definitely be behind, but Edward celebrated, as far as I'm concerned, his family, his fans, and his friends celebrated his 69th birthday yesterday.
26th, right?
Yep. In fact, Wolfgang celebrated his father by Wolfgang is with his band Mammoth. He has his line of EVH Wolfgang guitars, and it's so cool. It's called the Series 126, and he released, which will be available, I believe, this spring or summer. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, I always celebrate Edward's birthday, regardless of the reality of it. But I figured, you know what? Yeah, the recording of this is the day after, but you know what? You guys will all pretend out there. So, and there's been a lot of drama still in the Van Halen world. David Lee Roth has been out there going, you know what? I'm not going to get into it. I love David Lee Roth, but he needs to shut the fuck up. And that's impossible for David Lee Roth to do. Enough said. Because in my head, I'm thinking, Scott, shut up. Just stay on the positive, stay with the course. And enough about my Van Halen stuff. Andrew, we know you love music, sir. Anything you want to share in your music world?
My music world's getting ready to heat up here in about a week, so it's going to be nice. A week from tonight, I'm going to be at Paycom Center watching none other than Tool. That's where I'm going to be a week from tonight.
How long has Tool been out, by the way?
A long time, probably 88, 89. My friend Ray, just a little story since I give you guys rock and roll stories. My friend Ray, it was Rock City Cafe, I do believe. And my buddy Ray saw them back there in 89 with Henry Rollins. There was probably less than 100 people.
Wow.
And got to see Tool on their
Black Flag.
Yeah, it was right after Opiate. And so it was right before they released Undertow. And I believe that was 89 sometime, somewhere back in there at Rock City Cafe here in Oklahoma. So it was a pretty cool experience. He got to see him. I wasn't there, but this will be my 27th Tool show that I'm going to see next week. So I'm pretty stoked.
Wow. See, there's a little link there.
That's awesome.
Wolfie's a huge fan of Tool. So sorry.
Heck yeah. And so there's that great picture too of Eddie Van Halen taking a picture of some kids at a Tool show. I'm sure you've seen it. Yeah. Where the kid didn't even know it was Eddie Van Halen. He goes, "Hey, old dude, can you take my photo?" And so Eddie Van Halen takes this photo.
It's hysterical.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I'm sure Eddie loved telling that backstage.
I'm sure. It's fantastic. But yeah, that's what I'm doing a week from tonight. My buddy Ray and I, this is probably his 30th show. So maybe 29th. I take that back. The last one that I saw, he couldn't make it. And so I kind of went by myself with some friends from my brokerage in Tulsa, which was right after COVID, which was quite odd. We had one extra ticket and we couldn't sell it. And the show wasn't even sold out, but I mean, it had to do with COVID. I mean, those shows always sell out and you usually have zero problems getting rid of them. So, well,
Andrew, you do have that detective vibe, that undercover cop vibe. So, yeah.
I guess. But anyway.
And,
it's the hat. It's the hat.
It's that. Speaking of hats, real quick, and then Webb, I want to ask Webb, it's been a while since him and I've discussed music here on our podcast. But if you wouldn't mind sharing a little bit about that hat real quick, and then I do need to hear some music appreciation from you, Webb. Yeah, the hat. Check out the hat.
This guy?
Yeah. Check this out, Andrew.
Nice. Meet us at the man cave. I like it. Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Those are good looking, dude. I like them.
Oh, this one's nice, man.
It looks like it's for someone with a small. Oh, okay. Well, that one looked tiny, though.
Yeah. A dad hat and a baseball hat. Meet Us in the Man Cave apparel available now. Get your very own Meet Us in the Man Cave house, boat, car, child, guitar, batteries, dishes, household apparel, kitchen apparel, hoodies, sweatshirts, t-shirts, shower curtains, phone cases. Oh, the list could go on and on and on. Isn't that right, Chris?
Question. Can Chris? I do it with my butt cheeks?
Meet Us in the Man Cave apparel available right now at redbubble.com. Remember, only a few of those items are available, including hats.
That's awesome. I will say this one thing before Chris plugs his music. You guys should check out some music. Sure. I'm just going to plug my nephew. These are bands that he's no longer in, but they're great. It's great, some new music to check out from some underground stuff. So the first band that he's in is Volkërs. It's spelled Vokea. If you guys get a chance, just go to Spotify or iTunes and check that out. And then the other one
Send me a link. I can put it up on the screen.
Okay, done deal. And then Ole English. So OLE English. So I'll send those. They've got their number one single from it, Paladin, which is pretty cool. So yeah, if you get a chance and our listeners want to listen to some new rock and roll from some young kids in Lafayette, Louisiana, it's worth a listen. I definitely will tell you that it will surprise you how talented these kids are. They're really talented. He's already
that leads it off perfectly.
Yeah, he's working on another project with another band right now, which I can't give out the information to it yet. But as soon as I can, I will. But they're in the studio right now doing some recording, and he's so talented, and usually the guys that he hangs out with are so talented, so if you get a chance, check him out. It's worth a listen. He's got some stuff on Volkërs that sounds, I'll even plug this song. It kind of got some Primus vibes to it. If you like Primus, some people do, some people don't. Let me see here. It's called.
Well, if you want to be a bassist and you want to study, all the bridges, there you go. Check out Primus. And that does lead it off perfectly, by the way, Andrew, if you don't mind me interrupting, because Mr. Webb loves to research new sounds.
Yeah. So it's
he
called
loves to research something new.
Nice. So that Primus song is called Shootout. Not Primus, but Volkërs.
It's okay. Webb, I know you're itching. Fire away.
Yeah.
Oh no, you're fine. Man, lately, if I'm gonna go new stuff, I'm really into Tanner. I don't know how to say his last name. Tanner Usrey, Usrey. I'm really into him, digging his stuff a lot. And then there's a guy named Noah Kahan. He's releasing a lot of good stuff, especially his album called Stick Season. It's really good. Take a look at that. Well, other than that, dude, I've been honestly listening to. I'm back in my Cure days, listening to a whole lot of The Cure.
I remember growing up to The Cure. Yeah, for sure.
Sometimes I go away from it and then I come back to it. That Disintegration album is just I fucking love that album.
Don't feel bad. I was listening to Supertramp before we started. I love Supertramp.
I'm just so back into that, man. That the same deep water as you, like Disintegration, just the Blood Flowers album. I'm just really into The Cure right now. Awesome. I don't know why.
And speaking of music, and I'm going to ask you all this, it's more or less it's a what if. If you may have had this question, you've heard others, it doesn't matter. If you had the opportunity to meet your favorite band and be in the band, it doesn't matter if you're a musician, this is a fantasy. If you had an opportunity to meet your favorite band or artist, who would it be? And what instrument would you play with that band or artist? Andrew, since you're our guest, fire away. It's a tough one, but it's also fun.
Well, I mean, like we've stated in previous podcasts, I've been lucky enough to meet a couple really of my favorite artists, honestly. But if I had a chance, I would just like to be behind the curtain at a Tool show, on stage, honestly, or even on the side stage of a Pearl Jam show, maybe. I think that would be really cool to be on the side stage of a Pearl Jam show, just to hang out with Eddie Vedder for a day, maybe talk with him, get his views on certain things, and just talk with him about what his beliefs are and what's taken him to where he has been, you know, from being in San Diego and then after Mother Love Bone and then going up to being part of Pearl Jam. You know, it'd be nice to kind of just hear it firsthand from him. You know, him actually being one of the final guys that are left from that Seattle scene, you know, just to kind of get firsthand of maybe about Kurt Cobain, maybe some firsthand encounters with Lane Staley. You know, that would be just kind of cool. I don't really want anything. I don't even want pictures with people anymore. It would mean more to me just to be able to sit down and chat with one of these people and just talk with them, you know, about what it was like to live in Seattle at that time. Of course, in the late 90s, when I was working for the airlines, I would go there a lot, have overnights there, and actually go to a lot of those clubs. But it wasn't right there in that height, you know, like it was in the early 90s and right there at the mid 90s. It kind of started to die off around the late 90s a little bit. I would think that Seattle scene did a little bit. But yeah, that would be who I would probably engage with.
Would you want to play an instrument? Would you want to perform with, even if it was just in a room where it wasn't an audience, but just you hanging out with them playing? Would you just want to be someone sitting there?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, no, you're totally good. I get the question. It's just that I'm nowhere near any. I mean, I'm here and they're way up here. You know, I don't want to ruin any of.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, but it would be. I mean, it would be cool. Yes, of course, it would be. Of course, it would be cool to kind of.
If you've got a voice, you could sing. If you've got some rhythm, you can tap. That's all those bands that you just described would want to hear, or would. You shared your fantasy, I guess is the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
So, Andrew, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go for it.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Finish what you're saying. I'm sorry.
I'm a kind of a loud and proud 90s grunge guy, you know, unfortunately. And I like the 80s too. I mean, I love the 80s. I grew up in the 80s as a young boy. I was born in the 70s. So, yeah, the 80s were great. The 90s were better. And that's just how I feel. It's just an opinion. But
don't forget the 70s, man. Take it easy.
The 70s were great too. I was raised on a lot of that music, and even the 60s. You know, I think I've even discussed that with you guys before. I was raised on a lot of Bob Dylan and Cat Stevens and Arlo Guthrie and all that stuff, all that folk music, and you know, the Beatles and the Mamas and the Papas and all that stuff. So,
all righty, Andrew, we've got to ask Mr. C. Webb the same question. Do you remember what that question was, sir?
Yep. No, and if I could, good question. That is a thought-provoking question. That is a serious question.
Yeah, it is, but it's about damn time we got to that question.
Oh my God. That's going to be, you know, anybody that knows me, that's going to be DMX right off the bat. That's going to be me and him. Sitting in a room, I would want to talk about his life, his upbringing. And then to touch on your subject, I mean, he is a rapper. So there's not really, you know, unless I want to, you know, do the turntables, I'm not really going to play an instrument with him, you know? If I could change your phrasing with him, I would sit in a room, I would talk to him. I mean, we would get to know each other because, I mean, the dude was like, growing up, he was like a father figure to me. He was like, I mean, he was my personification of male entity. He was like what I looked up to. So I would write a song with him if I had to.
I had a feeling you'd say that.
That would be a dream situation. I would write a song with DMX. That would be I'd be done after that. Life accomplished.
I had a strong feeling you would say that because Chris does not go around parading it here. You mentioned it once before, but Chris likes to write. He loves poetry. And my gut feeling, that's what you were going to say. Sorry, but the more you talk to somebody, the more you hang out with somebody in a man cave, you kind of have a gut feeling. I'm so glad that you said
you baited
that.
me.
Well,
We've been itching about music. And this is where...
Oh, yeah.
Well,
okay,
in saying
Chris.
that, Chris, I would highly recommend, if you like poetry, to definitely check out a lot of Jim Morrison stuff. If you like poetry, check that out. Check out a lot of Bob Dylan stuff too. He's got a lot of poetry too.
Jim Morrison can do it. Man, I'm real big on like Walt Whitman, E.E. Cummings. I have several guys that I really,
Chris, I'm going to keep on going with this.
You next.
I'm going to. This. I'm being dead serious. You and DMX are sitting down. Just the two of you. You write a song with him. And you don't have to answer this question right now because I know this is a tough fucking question right now. Do you have any ideas of what that song may be about, or would you rather not share it right now?
Oh shit!
I know that's pressured, but you said it, and I just felt I'd have to like, come on, man. You're going. You've got that Honda fired up right now. Let's punch it in.
So definitely abandonment. Definitely existential, existence related. Like, why am I here? What am I doing here? What is the meaning of all this?
Internet.
Oh man.
Internet's going good.
What's that?
I said internet. I'm sorry. What you were talking about, I fucking ruined it.
No, just I'm not in his circumstances, but I've always looked up to him because of his circumstances. His circumstances were way more than mine, of course. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm underprivileged or anything else. It's just, the feelings that you get from being raised a certain way. I would want to get in touch with his viewpoint and how he overcame it, I guess.
That's very fascinating because this is I feel it's important for every single one of us out there. And I'm going to simplify it right here. We all have a story. We all have something important. You look up at DMX, he's a mentor to you. He's someone that you admire. And you've had a chance to hear his story. And you feel that maybe your story doesn't shine. I'm going to use that word shine as much, but Chris, your story is just as important as his. And I'm not trying to bring him down, but I think that's the important thing of it is because he's someone that I have a feeling he would say, no, man, you're just as important as I am. So I think that's where,
and he would.
That's where I think that your story, your song would be balanced out where, sorry, I asked the question right now because it sounds like you guys would have had one hell of a song that you would share together. Now that sounded terrible.
No, but you're right about that. He would be like, no, I want to hear your perspective of it. And it would be like, and I'm looking at someone who's accomplished so much more. How do you overtake that? How do you, just like Andrew was saying, no, I'm here and he's down here. Or no, the other way around. You know what I'm saying?
We all.
What Andrew said is like, you can't bring yourself to compete on that level. It's like.
He puts his pants legs on, or you know what I mean? One leg at a time.
Yeah.
So,
Scott, I'm real interested though. If I could throw it right back to you. I'm not going to assume anything. I just want to hear your answer.
I think you guys know who it is.
Talk to me. Tell me your name. You blow me off like it's all the same. You lit it fuse and I'm taking away like a bomb. Yeah, baby. She bangs, she bangs. Oh, baby, when she moves, she moves. I go crazy cause she looks like a flower, but she stings like a bee. Like every girl in history. She bangs, she bangs. I'm wasted by the way she...
Thank you.
I've had this fantasy for a long time. And they would say, oh, don't meet your heroes. But I think anybody that is sitting right now in this virtual man cave or the 2% out there that's listening or watching, they know who it is. And it would be an amazing experience to go to a certain studio called 5150, just to sit down, shoot the shit. Yes, on my head, it would be a nervous wreck for me to sit down and try to even have a simple rhythm, a simple rhyme, to stay in a rhythm, not even competitive, to stay afloat with Edward. Gee, did I just give a hint to who I'm talking about? I think 5150 pretty much said it right there. But I don't need to go on a tour. I don't need to be in a big room. My fantasy has always been able to go to the 5150 studios just to sit down, hang out with Edward, shoot the shit, and basically die right there in that studio as I watch the band. I would try to play guitar. I know 3 chords, but I think I would be sounding like, and that's not playing the drums. I'm going to try to.
Wouldn't that be everything though? Just to share a beer and just tell,
Okay, I'd make sure that I not have any beer with him because he's a recovering alcoholic. But I get what you're saying.
Oh
no, it's okay. It's okay. Because Edward, back in the day, that beer probably would have lasted 3 days, if you know what I mean. But I would let's just say right now, 2024, as much as that sucks, I would love to have the knowledge and the experience and just trust me with this, Wolfgang. All those tapes that are up there in that library, that your father recorded songs, these songs that we did not get a chance to hear. I have the equipment. I can bake those tapes. Please allow me to bake them, because that's what you need to do. You need to bake these tapes in a certain type of oven so the world can listen to the music that we do not get to hear. So that would be my backup fantasy, the reality of
that would be
so.
That would be
if time travel was possible,
Damn.
it'd be kind of nice to go back to old shows and see some old shows before, back in the 70s and the 60s, and even maybe come by and grab you, when Alice in Chains toured with Van Halen, and maybe go to that show with you, Scott. That would probably be a pretty cool show to go with you to see. But
I'm so thankful. Yeah, I'm thankful for my memories, my Van Halen memories, my concerts in time. Andrew, I think about the story that you shared with us here in season 1, where you had the opportunity to meet Kurt Cobain, basically Nirvana. I fantasize about meeting them. Hell, I fantasize about, Jesus Christ, if Scott would still be alive with Stone Temple Pilots.
Oh, Scott.
The list goes on and on and on. Yeah.
Oh man.
The list, we could sit here all day and fantasize about the what of, coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Right.
Especially from what I hear that's being produced today. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, even though my name's not Debbie. But I thought this was a fun thing that actually popped into my head earlier, because we haven't talked about music. So why not have a fantasy if I had $1 million? But let's try to create it in a music platform. And Chris, I love your response. That's why I've been missing music, because I love Chris's creativity with music. Andrew, I love your history with music, because you have a history with music. And me, I've always had a private room of Edward Van Halen that I've always created in a certain way. And yeah, I celebrated his 69th birthday here recently, and that's how I'm going to leave it. Do either one of you, Andrew or Chris, do you ever get that not so fresh feeling?
Yeah, I guess.
Well, thanks to our new sponsors, Mass and Gilbert. Yes. Mass and Gilbert. It sounds a lot like a Mass and Gil, but it's from Mass and Gilbert. Basically, they will leave you feeling, fresh and clean. Yes, they're dedicated to basically affect a formula that cleanses you with some irritations down there. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's a comfort, glide strip with the flexible neck bottle. It's comfortable and easy to use. Mass and Gilbert. Freshness made simple.
I don't know where we went.
It's only available at Bubba.
Do you have anything else you guys want to share real quick before I have to tickle something?
No tickles.
You're gonna
Tickles?
You're gonna hit that. You're gonna hit it.
I'm gonna hit it.
You're gonna tap that button.
Andrew,
tap that fucking.
Before I tap it, this is not really. I know, Andrew, you're a football guy.
I'm rooting for the Lions all the way. They've never won a Super Bowl. Come on, you got to root for the underdog. They've never won a Super Bowl. I'm rooting for the Lions.
Very cool.
I got to root for the Lions.
Very cool. I want to
Go
see
Lions.
You want to know my reasons why?
Why?
The 49ers, the Bengals. There's your number one answer there.
Right.
Duh, Cincinnati Bengals. Look at the history there. Who else in the AFC North? Okay. The Bengals. Oh, the Baltimore Ravens. I would think a lot of Cleveland Brown fans out there do not want the Baltimore Ravens to win because Art Modell went to Baltimore. Oh, I'm sorry, Brown fans, but that's the truth. Kansas City Chiefs. I'm so fucking tired of the Chiefs and Taylor Swift. Sorry, but
can't say I blame you.
So
what a good way to tie in music.
So Detroit. There you go. Music. Motown.
Hey, can I add one thing there since you brought up Taylor Swift? The only band to knock her off her perch, none other than Tool. That's all I got to say about that.
And there is music in Detroit, right? Motown.
Yes.
All right, guys. Seriously, thank you, Andrew, so much for showing up here once again. We do appreciate your experience, your knowledge, your history. And I don't want to be the last person to say anything here on just being a part of the man cave that we created. Mr. Webb, take it away, my friend.
Thank you, thank you, sir, for joining us. Thank you for coming in, and thank you for walking me through what was probably becoming a frustrating kind of series of events with the whole.
Anytime you want to reach out and you have any questions about anything that you just would rather not ask your agent, just holler at me. We're not breaking any rules. I'm not your agent. You can ask me questions anytime.
Yeah, there's just some things you can ask with a couple of guys over a beer, and some things you're just like, I don't want to ask that.
No, you're stupid, good, man. You're good. There's a lot of information, and look, I learn every day. I'm still learning. Being this age, I'm always learning. So, yeah, anytime.
Hell yeah.
I guess Scott left us.
He's gone. There's an empty chair.
Pretty Tang gone.
Chris and I want to thank you for listening or watching Meet Us in the Man Cave. Since you enjoyed watching us, make sure you want to tell all your friends about us, subscribe today, and click on that notification bell. It's going to be helping you being reminded when our next episode is uploaded or even possibly a live stream video. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and of course, YouTube. You can listen or download to Meet Us in the Man Cave on your favorite podcasting app, available to stream or download so you can listen to us all you want, whenever you want. For more information, go to meetusinthemancave.podbean.com.